Another very interesting thing needs to be remembered. In South Asia in particular, there's a youth bulge. We are a very young community. There is also unemployment. This youth is the most educated youth in history. And they're not prepared to be shoved down the line to do menial work and things like that. They want fulfillment. A change of regime will not in itself solve this problem. The change has to address systemic issues, and merely change at the top will not do that. So the question remains, how can a person who's been away from a country for so many years write about it? Does he feel the pulse of the nation? Can he engage with the public? Is he the leader Bangladesh has been waiting for? We don't know. What a politician promises before election often is not the same as what he delivers after elections. That too is something we need to take into account. But what we need to discuss is how the approach that he has differs from the approach of others. Because that is all we can decide at this moment. What will happen afterwards, we need to decide on the basis of the actions that they take afterwards. At the moment, these are propositions, and we need to analyze them on the basis of that. Is he capable of implementing them? And whether he genuinely aims to implement them or not, or whether this is simply electioneering, is something we need to consider. But there are interesting things, positive things as well. I mean, the book talks of Tarique Rahman sharing a caricature on his own social media. That's very, very different. I mean, a stark contrast from school kids who were jailed for having done a similar thing in previous regimes. So we recognize that. It also talks about recognizing the role of farmers and laborers. The real hero of Bangladesh are our farmers in the field, our migrant workers, our garment workers. They are the ones who've given us this privilege. All of us here sitting are privileged people. Our privilege has been largely fueled by people who we give very little regard to, who we treat abysmally, regardless of which regime it is. Whether we are different is something we have to see, but here is a person who appears to be addressing those issues and recognizing that. So will the leadership lead to what the book suggests is a qualitative transformation of the state and politics? We need to see what happens in the streets in the months to come. Will provide the answers. Is Tarique Rahman simply aiming for a win in the upcoming elections? Or is he someone who hopes to lead Bangladesh into a new era? We hope it is the latter, but only time will tell. And it is really up to us to ensure that Bangladesh remains on the track. Too many people have given their lives, too much sacrifice has been made, too much blood has been shed for us to return to status quo, for us to go back to the way it was. I believe it can be different. I believe Tarique Rahman is perhaps a person who can bring about the difference, but it is really we, through our active resistance, who will ensure that that change is permanent.